Warning: the Mega Man X channel and all of its videos are not meant for viewers under the age of 13. Parental guidance is advised. Hey guys, be sure to visit my Facebook page store where you can buy anything figure related directly from me. I have a wide variety of figures, accessories, anything ranging from Hot Toys to SH Figuarts, Figma, and third-party items as well. All you have to do is message me on Facebook, visit my Facebook page for more info. I'll leave a link in the description below. How's it going, my fellow collectors, and welcome to the top 8 Hot Toys figures of 2019. Looks like a lovely bunch of folks. Yes, Snake, they sure do. I just want to clarify something. This is probably something I should have mentioned in last year's top 6 Hot Toys figures of 2018, but I guess I just forgot to mention it. Whenever I do these top Hot Toys figures of the year videos, I only include the figures that I've owned myself, that I've reviewed, because if I've only seen pictures of a figure and I've never owned it, or that I've never seen it in person, and I include it on the top Hot Toys figures of the year, I don't think I'd be doing it justice because I've never seen it myself in person. It may look cool, like for example, we have the Hot Toys Yondu figure that came out last year from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And it looks like an awesome figure, you know, it's got a really great likeness and everything. But since I've never owned it myself and I've never handled it or anything like that, I don't think I'd be doing it justice by including it on the list. I at least have to see it in person. So because of that, that's how I include the figures on my list. I just wanted to clarify that for those of you that are curious on how my system of things works. Before we get started on the top 8 Hot Toys figures of 2019, there is one figure that I had to put in a different category, which is the most disappointing Hot Toys figure of 2019. This figure didn't make the list, but it at least deserves to be on this video because it's not a bad figure and it still deserves credit where credit is due. So we're going to get started with that figure first. And now for the most disappointing figure of 2019. And here it is. Hot Toys Alien vs. Predator Requiem Wolf Predator. The most disappointing figure of 2019. I'm not going to categorize this figure as the number 9 Hot Toys figure of 2019 because it is better than some of the Hot Toys that came out this year that are going to be on the list. But because of some factors, that's why it didn't make the list. So we're going to talk about those. If you guys have seen my review for this figure, you'll know why this is the most disappointing figure of 2019. There's a number of different reasons. The first reason is that we only get 4 hands in total with this figure, which that shouldn't be the case. We should have open, splayed out hands with this figure because that's just what predators do when they do a certain stance. They spread their hands out, but this figure doesn't come with those. Another reason we have is the gauntlets. They don't rotate. They're stuck in a fixed position, which is an issue. And also the hand cannon that it comes with, the shoulder cannon that he turns into a hand cannon. The grip for the cannon was sculpted and molded backwards. Another reason is when you take the mask off, he only comes with 1 pair of mandibles. It doesn't come with closed mandibles. Like I said in the review for this figure could have been so much more than it is. But that's not to say that this is a bad figure, because it does come with a lot of stuff. And most of this stuff is cool. It just let me down that they didn't go all the way. Another thing that I don't really like is the base. It could have been painted a little bit better also. So that's another reason why it's disappointing. So this figure had the potential to be on the top figures of 2019 list, but sadly it fell short. But I do think it deserves an honorable mention, so that's why I decided to stick them in this video at least. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the top 8 Hot Toys figures of 2019. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the main event. Take it away, Snake. These are the top 8 Hot Toys figures of 2019. Number 8. Coming in at number 8, we have the Hot Toys Avengers Infinity War Iron Man Mark 50. And I was really tempted to put this figure on the list of top most disappointing figures of 2019. And the reason is because of Hot Toys as a business. I really didn't like their marketing tactics with this figure. I think when this figure first came out on pre-order, the price was around $415 plus, maybe. That's what they're charging for these die-cast figures now. And it's whatever, if they want to start doing that, that's fine. But they decided to go the extra mile and tried to sell the accessory set, which, as you can see, he's holding the shield right now. And that's included in the accessory set. And they sold that accessory set separately from the figure, and they charged an outrageous amount of money for all the accessories that it has. The price was pretty much equivalent to buying another Hot Toys figure, basically. Which, I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's a ripoff. If you guys have seen my review on the accessory set for this figure, then you'll know that everything that this accessory set has, it's average at best. Like everything, like the paint applications, the look, everything. As you can see, the shield that he's holding, the blue sections, they're not painted that great. It's got this plasticky feeling to it, there's no weathering on it. And that's basically how it is with every accessory that is included in the set. And they're charging us an outrageous price for all of this, With that said, the figure itself does look good. It's done perfectly, it looks great. The paint on the figure is awesome. It's got weathering. And it's all done really nicely. It's 100% accurate to how he looked in the movie. And for being a die-cast figure, it's got great articulation too. But I just couldn't overlook the fact that they were trying to do a marketing gimmick with this figure. They must have been thinking, for the figure itself, we're only going to give him a few accessories. The giant hand cannon, the forearm cannon, the jetpack that you can attach to his back, a few extra hands, Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt that's been recycled and reused over and over again. And that's it. And that's all they give us for the accessories that come with the figure itself. And they're charging us around $415 plus. And then they decide to give us this accessory set. I mean, come on, man. Now they're just milking it, I just couldn't overlook that, That's why this figure isn't higher on the list. It could have been, because it's a great figure, I love it. It's awesome. But because of the fact that Hot Toys did that, it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. So that's why this figure is the number 8 Hot Toys of 2019. And I really had a hard time deciding whether or not this figure should be on this list or on the list of top most disappointing figures of 2019. Because I was that aggravated about it, so ultimately I decided to put it on the list because it is a good figure. I love it, the way it looks and everything. Number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have the Hot Toys John Wick Chapter 2 John Wick figure. And this is another figure that was a little bit disappointing as well. That's why it's at number 7 for a number of reasons. One of those reasons is the tailoring of the suit. It was pretty bad, to be honest. Hot Toys in the past have done better tailoring for suits than this. If you guys have seen my review for this figure, I compared this suit to the Dark Knight Bruce Wayne figure. The suit that figure has is way better than the John Wick suit because they stitched it in the right places. The reason I'm going on about the tailoring of the suit is because there's a lot of restrictions to the articulation of the figure because of the suit. Such as you can't get his arms to raise up that much. Because if you look where the armpits are, they stitched it just too low. And another thing I didn't like is that they didn't put any cufflinks on his cuffs of his shirt. If you guys remember in the movie, he always had cufflinks. Doesn't matter if he was wearing the white shirt or the black shirt. So that's a little inaccurate. And you know how Hot Toys is, they pride themselves on movie accuracy. So I don't know why they missed that. Another thing I didn't really like was the shoes. These shoes have been reused and recycled over and over again. And they put some weathering on the shoes, and if you guys have seen my review for this figure, I mentioned that it just looks like they sprinkled a little bit of paint on his shoes and it doesn't look like actual weathering. And then there's the fact about the likeness. I don't think it's 100% Keanu Reeves. The eyes are just too beady. But everything else besides that is great. Like, you get a whole bunch of accessories for this figure. You get a whole bunch of guns. He's holding right now the Kimber Warrior. It comes with the wooden case with the 2 extra gun clips where you can store this gun in. You get the pencil, you get the knife. You get 2 blood markers, one open and one closed. And you get the gold coins that he uses as currency in the movie. You get this octagonal stand, and you get a backdrop. So the accessories for this figure is awesome. And I know I said that the likeness isn't 100%, but it's not bad either. It almost looks like Keanu Reeves. It's a lot better than a lot of custom head sculpts of John Wick that are out there. With that said, he could have come with a few more things that would have made this figure even more awesome. For example, he could have come with a dog. Hot Toys could have made that an exclusive accessory. He could have come with the white shirt that I've got him wearing right now. Because he comes with a black shirt and a black vest, which do come on the figure out of the packaging. He also could have come with a clean head sculpt, because this head sculpt is a little battle damaged. So with the clean head sculpt, he could have had the slick back hair, how he sometimes has it in the movie. So those are the reasons why it's number 7 on the list. It's a good figure, but there's just some things that prevented it from being an even better figure. Number 6. Coming in at number 6, we have the Hot Toys Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Yoda. There was a couple things that I didn't really like about this figure. One of them being the arm joints and the leg joints. The leg kept popping off, and so did one of the arms. Every time that I tried to articulate the figure, that would happen often. Another thing that I didn't really like about this figure was the hood. they have it stitched to the back of the robe, which they didn't need to do, because if you have him in a dynamic pose and you're bending the wires in the robe to make it look like it's flowing in the wind, the hood is just gonna lay flat on his robe when it should be flowing in the wind as well. Another thing that I didn't really like about this figure was the skin tone that they decided to use. It's too dark of a green color. If you guys have seen my review for this figure, I did mention that. In the movie, it was more of a lighter green color, and in episode 3, it was more of a swampy green color. But the skin tone on the figure doesn't match any of those colors, so I think they kind of messed up there. But other than that, this figure is a pretty good figure. I think they got the likeness right. The clothing is 100% movie accurate to how he looked. And he comes with a decent amount of accessories. The one thing that I wish that it did come with was a light up feature for his lightsaber. Now I know you might argue that this figure is too small for it to be able to have a light up feature, but I know that it's possible for Hot Toys because they've come out with some accessories in the past with really, really tiny button cell batteries, like tinier than usual. So I know that they could have been able to put a light feature in there. I know it's not a big deal to a lot of collectors out there because they don't really like the light up feature that Hot Toys has on their Jedi or Sith figures, but I like the light up feature, so I kind of miss it. Another thing that I wish that this figure came with is a pole to have him standing up normally. I know he comes with the dynamic pole where you can put him in some dynamic poses, but I wish that he came with a regular grabber, you know. I know he can't use your typical crotch grabber that Hot Toys comes with because, you know, the figure is too small, but I know that Hot Toys could have come up with something to have him standing normally. Number 5. Coming in at number 5, we have the Hot Toys Avengers Infinity War Thanos. We'll start with the likeness. They got it spot on with this figure. This looks 100% like it did in the movie. This figure came with 2 head sculpts. The one he has on him right now is the action teeth gritting face. And the other head sculpt is a slightly smirking face. And Hot Toys did an amazing job with both of these head sculpts. I was just blown away by the likeness of those head sculpts. And on top of that, they gave us 2 left arms for the Infinity Gauntlet. This one is in a fixed bent position, but the other one is articulated. You could bend it back and forth. But it's made of rubber, so you don't want to have that one in a bent pose for too long. That's why they gave us this fixed bent arm. And the sculpting and paint applications for the Infinity Gauntlet is amazing. It's spot on. In my opinion, they got it 100% accurate to how it looked in the movie. And on top of that, both of the Infinity Gauntlets on both arms have a light up feature. And when you light them up, the Infinity Gauntlets look awesome. They did a great job on that. And everything else is 100% accurate to how he looked. But he basically just has some regular corduroy pants. And he's got this tank top, which is made of hard plastic. So he doesn't have an ab crunch. But that's just a little nitpick. It's really nothing. The boots look good. He comes with 3 right hands. And he comes with 2 left gauntlet hands. one fist and one articulated hand. But I think we should have came with 3 left gauntlet hands because he doesn't come with the left snapping hand. I think he should have came with that. That would have made this figure so much better. And we also get this nice backdrop from the Battle of Titan. And we get this stand that has his name on it. And we get this floor card, which is supposed to imitate the ground of Titan. And it is removable. Underneath you can see the Avengers logo with the Infinity Gauntlet, an image of it. It's a completely different base design, which is awesome. And that's one of the reasons that it's so high up on the list. A lot of people are waiting on their pre-orders of the Avengers Endgame Thanos. And that figure looks cool too. I do love the classic look with the full armor and helmet. But I'm not too sure if it comes with the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't think he does because I don't remember him using this gauntlet in Endgame. So I'm wondering if he comes with the Nanotech Infinity Gauntlet. Anyway, the reason that I'm not getting the Endgame Thanos is because I love the classic Infinity Gauntlet look, and the Endgame Thanos doesn't come with this gauntlet. So that's my reason. And in my opinion, the Infinity War movie was a lot better than the Endgame movie. I wasn't too happy about the whole idea of, oh, we could just time travel to the past to fix everything in the future. It just felt to me like the makers of the movies were just running out of ideas. Or maybe it was just a way to show all the characters that have been in the previous Avengers movies. Like all the characters who have died. You see all of them do cameo appearances. But yeah, I just wasn't too thrilled about the whole idea of time traveling. Number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have the Hot Toys Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I had a really hard time trying to decide who goes in the number 3 spot of the top Hot Toys figures of 2019. This figure came really close to being number 3 on the list. But there was just one other figure that was slightly better than this one. And there's a number of reasons why this one's number 4. We'll start with the negatives. One negative is the likeness. It's good, but as we all know, it could have been better. Because we all saw the prototype images. When they released the first prototype at Secret Base of this figure, we all saw what it looked like and the likeness it had. It was 100% spot on Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. The quality of the paint, the wrinkles, everything was just bang on. But then they released the final product and we got this. The paint was all different. The color of the hair is just not the same. And they took out some wrinkles. It's just like I said in my review of this figure. The likeness of this figure looks like it's like a in-game cutscene likeness to Ewan McGregor. That's one negative. Another minor nitpick I have about this figure is the boots. I don't think that they did such a good job with the boots like they've done in the past with other Jedi figures, such as Anakin Skywalker. They did a lot better job in crafting the boots with him. And also, I'm not a big fan of leather type material, because that can get damaged over time with temperature change and humidity. So yeah, I just have a bad feeling. Star Wars reference. I've got a bad feeling about this. So yeah, the leather on the boots might start to crack after a while. Another thing I don't like is the way they made the hood on this robe. It doesn't have any wires running through it. Some people think that that's a good thing, but I don't. Because as I said in my review of this figure, you take a lot longer positioning it without wires than you would if it did have wires. I mean, you still have a tough time with the wires, but you have even more of a tough time without them. Let's move on to the positives of this figure. It comes with a decent amount of accessories. You get 2 floor cards. As you can see right now, he's standing on the floor sand card. And he also comes with the Mustafar floor card. He comes with a good amount of hands. He comes with the droid collar. He comes with his lightsaber. The unlit and lit version. So yeah, he does have the light up feature, which is great. He comes with this robe. And the outfit, the tunic that he's wearing, is great. It's 100% accurate to how he looked in the movie. And the likeness, as I said before, it's good, but it could have been better. And as I said before, I had a really tough time trying to decide between 2 figures which one of them would go in the number 3 spot. It was between this figure and one other figure. Number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the Hot Toys The Matrix Neo. So this was the other contender for the number 3 spot. It was between this one and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Basically because they both kind of suffer from the same thing, which is the likeness. It's not 100% accurate. I have to say that it suffers from the same thing as the John Wick figure does. It almost looks like Keanu Reeves, but it falls short. It looks a lot more like him with the sunglasses on. But when you take them off, yeah, not so much. Yeah, that was the same problem that the Obi-Wan figure had. And that's why I was kind of struggling who to give the number 3 spot to. But I decided to go with Neo because Neo comes with a lot more accessories than Obi-Wan does. You get this dynamic stand, which is supposed to represent the lobby floor of the government building where they had the shootout. And you get a whole lot of guns. You get the bag that they use to place the bomb in when they blow up the elevator in the government building. And the outfit is 100% accurate to how it looked in the movie. And the figure is highly articulated. And since the outfit is made of a cloth material, you can put them in whatever pose you want and you can leave them in it forever if you wanted. And you don't even have to worry about damaging the clothes, which in my opinion is a plus for any figure. The only thing you kind of have to worry about is the boots because it's made of a leather type material and you guys know how I feel about leather type materials. We all know what happens with that type of material. Hot Toys figures that have this leather type material, they're notoriously known for cracking and falling apart. Like, it just gets damaged beyond repair, basically. I'm not a big fan of that. But we'll see how long this figure lasts with that. But other than that, this figure is great. Yeah, the only 2 downsides are the boots and the likeness of this figure. And if you guys watched my review of this figure, I did mention that Hot Toys is improving on the way they make guns. The guns that they make with this figure and the John Wick figure are a vast improvement on any figures that they've done in the past, which is great. The paint applications almost look like real gunmetal. Number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have the Hot Toys PS4 Spider-Man Scarlet Spider Suit. And the reason that this figure is so high up on my list is because if you've seen my review for this figure, I mentioned that this outfit is the most durable that I've seen on any Hot Toys superhero figure. I don't know what kind of material they made the outfit out of, but it's not spandex and it's not a vinyl material. So if you put it in extreme poses, it lasts a lot longer than it would if it was made of a vinyl material, which is what the outfits on your typical superhero Hot Toys figure has. But I still wouldn't leave it in extreme poses, because it still has some piping running throughout all the outfit, and it will get damaged if you leave it in a pose like this for too long. Now, I've never played the PS4 Spider-Man game, so I don't really know if this is accurate to how it looked like in the game, but I do know what this outfit looks like in the comic books and what the character looks like in the comic books. And my opinions are based off of what the outfit looks like in the comic books. So with that said, I do think that this outfit looks 100% accurate. D Knight pointed it out that in the video game, the outfit had black lines running throughout all the piping on the outfit, which this Hot Toys figure doesn't have. For example, these lines right here, running all through the leg, and then up here, as you can see the arm, all of those sections are supposed to be black, according to the video game. But in the comic books, it was a solid red color, and it didn't even have any piping. So, in my opinion, I think that it looks better this way, because this is basically what it looked like in the comic books, so that's why I have this figure on the number 2 spot, not to mention that it has great articulation, and you get a decent amount of accessories that come with this figure. I do think that the Advanced Suit Spider-Man comes with more accessories than this figure, but the accessories that come with this figure aren't bad at all. There are some reused accessories such as the webbing, like this one for example. We've pretty much seen this webbing that with every single Spider-Man figure that has come out. But we do get a new web, which is this one. And it comes with a pizza and a pizza box, which is cool. It comes with this camera, and it comes with an Android phone with Spider-Man's picture on it. The only thing that I wish that it came with was a Ben Reilly head sculpt. That would have been cool. Please, if there's any customizers out there that are watching this video, I'm asking you to please create a Ben Reilly head sculpt for this figure. I know that there's one customizer out there who's already working on a Peter Parker head sculpt for the Advanced Suit Spider-Man. If he can make a Ben Reilly head sculpt as well, that would be awesome. I would buy that instantly. In my opinion, this figure is pretty good. The material that they decided to make this outfit out of, I think it even surpasses the Advanced Suit Spider-Man. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the final figure, the number 1 figure of 2019. This is the part of the video where I let you guys guess on what that figure could be. Enter it in the comments below if you think you know which figure that is. And don't cheat by skipping ahead. Let's see if you can figure out which figure it's going to be. Number 1. Hey, this isn't first grade math class. So here we are, the number 1 figure of 2019. We have the Hot Toys Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace Darth Maul. And a lot of people may not have been surprised that this figure came in at number 1. I mean, it is a DX figure after all. DX figures are pretty rare nowadays. And not to mention that there are so many things that are really good about this figure, I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll just start off with the likeness first. It is almost 100% Darth Maul, or Ray Park as Darth Maul. The reason I say almost 100% is because this figure is a little bit too chunky than what he actually was in the movie, and that includes the head sculpts. They just made him look a little bit too full. Another thing is the eyes. The colored irises should be bigger than what they are. The whites of his eyes is showing too much. And another thing I didn't really like was the robe. The fact that it was kind of short and you can see his feet when he's wearing it, I didn't like that. Also, when he's wearing the robe and he has his hood down, he looks stupid. Because the hood is kind of stitched to his back, and I think that it's also stitched to his shoulders if I'm not mistaken. So, because it's stitched like that, if you put the robe on him and you put the hood down, he just looks silly. So, those are some things that I didn't like about it. But I think with this figure, the pros outweigh the cons. The articulation on this figure is awesome. The likeness is spot on. If it wasn't for the fullness of the face and the whites on his eyes, this figure would be awesome. I mean, the likeness is already awesome as it is, but if they fix those two problems, then it'd be a perfect head sculpt. The tunic is awesome as well. It's 100% accurate to how it looked like in the movie. And if you were to get the deluxe version, it would come with the Sith Speeder and the Tatooine floor card for the base. And you also get two different lightsaber light up features. The double bladed light up lightsaber feature, and you also get the single bladed cut in half lightsaber light up feature. You also get two head sculpts. I got the aggressive looking one on him right now. And he also has the normal neutral looking head sculpt. And the fact that you have the purse system where you can position the eyes in whichever direction you want, that's also a plus. The non-light up lightsaber, you can change that into the cut in half lightsaber if you want. You can switch in between the double bladed and the cut in half looking lightsaber. That's also a plus. I love that. And you also get the reconnaissance Sith probe droid. And this droid has such amazing detail on it. The way they did it is just awesome. They put the wires there behind the lenses. The weathering on it, you can see the scratches in front of the lens there. You have to be careful with this antenna. You have to install it yourself. And it's kind of fragile, so you have to be really careful to not break it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And he also comes with these extra glove gauntlet pieces. Like, you can make him look like he's wearing the droid collar on one of them. And he also has this one over here, which can split apart at the seam. It's for the light up lightsaber arm. And the tunic, the flaps, they all have wires in them. So you can position them in action poses, which is awesome. Not to mention the dynamic stand that this figure comes with. It's supposed to represent the floor of the generator room on Naboo when he's fighting against Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. And also the weathering on the boots is awesome because there's little traces of sand throughout some of the cracks of his boots. So it makes you think that he's been walking through the dunes of Tatooine. He also has a magnetic neck connector. So his head is attached via a magnet to the neck. So it's easy to swap on and off, and that's awesome. He also comes with a dynamic pole, so you can put him in acrobatic poses as he does in the movie. And he comes with 2 normal lightsaber blades and also 2 swooshing lightsaber blades. Not to mention the box. If you guys have seen my review for this figure, it has some great artwork on it. I mean, what more can you ask for, you know? Really cool. So there you go, guys. Those are the top 8 Hot Toys figures of 2019. That brings this video to a close, and I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications of my latest videos. And until next time, guys, I shall catch you later on the tube. Alright, bye guys.